and us, Kraig Strom, paralegal at BarthCalderon. He's having issues with his video, but he is on audio, so you get a combo here. Half video, half podcast. Thank you so much for joining. This is Wealth Protector TV. We go live every Thursday at 9 a.m. California time on LinkedIn. We're streaming on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, I think. We're everywhere. So this is a very hot topic. It is beneficiary designations when you're getting your estate plan done. We're going to jump into this. Really glad you're here.
Here as well, Paul. Thank you.
All right, we're back. Kraig, are you there?
I am here.
Great. Okay, let's jump into this. So,
Enjoying difficulties on my video, but I guess that's part of life days as we work on video often.
Yeah, we're good. We're good with tech. Let's get into this thing. I want to respect everybody's time. So the beneficiary designations. Now, Kraig, when we talk about putting together an estate plan, which is your will, your trust, those go hand in hand. Your financial power of attorney, your medical directives, part of your estate plan are your beneficiary designations. So tell us what's going on with that. Let's jump in.
Great question on this one, Paul. It's an awesome topic. The beneficiary designations are really the causes, maybe the Humane Society. It doesn't have to be always just people. Beneficiaries are those people or entities you name in your estate plan that get all of your stuff or a part of your stuff when you leave this world.
So the beneficiary designations, how do those integrate on, like, with your retirement plans, IRAs, 401ks, life insurance policies? That is an issue that comes up a lot when we're talking about beneficiaries. What is that all about?
That one right there is probably one of the biggest mistakes we ever see at the firm, is the beneficiaries being synced up. What I mean by that is making sure that your beneficiaries on your life insurance, for example, perhaps matches the beneficiary designations on your individual retirement account or your work 401k. And then all of that matching back up to your will and your living trust. So many times we see that, for example, this is the horror story, but someone's ex-spouse listed still as the beneficiary on a retirement account or life insurance when the current spouse and family is listed as beneficiary on the trust, on the estate plan. It's a big mistake that we see frequently. They've got to all match up.
So what do you put down for your beneficiary designation on the retirement account? Do you put the name of the trust on there and then it, refers or reverts to the trust, or do you actually put the person's name? I understand there is an important difference there.
Definitely. Just had this conversation with a new client at the firm just this week, where she has a young daughter, and by young, I mean under 10 years old. She also has an older daughter from a previous marriage who is in her 20s. So the question was how to list children as beneficiary. And in that case, examples we might use is listing the older daughter as an individual person on the retirement account or life insurance, for example, and the younger daughter being listed through the living trust. And instead of putting the younger daughter on the beneficiary for the 401k, we may put her new estate, her new living trust as the beneficiary to manage that inheritance potentially for a child.
Okay. All right. Very interesting. And when it comes to multiple beneficiaries, let's say your parent, you have property and you're transferring property to multiple children. how do you get involved in those discussions about the beneficiary, and how do you divide up a property? I mean, what happens in that scenario? How do you make it efficient?
That's the key word, Paul. That's a brilliant use of that word. That efficiency is what we generally recommend. Myself, as a long-time financial planner and legal at the law firm, I also hear our attorneys and our team consistently suggest keep it simple. With that said, you can be complicated in your beneficiary designations. You can say that I want my daughter to get my sewing collection. I want my son to get my this collection. I want my nephew, cousin, etc. And you can be very specific. Or you can say, I would like this everything equally and let them sort it out because we're going to be gone anyway. So we always encourage keeping it simple. We definitely want to know if there are specific gifts that someone might absolutely important to add in there. However, it's important for people to remember the beneficiary designations are there as a guide. And frankly, you're not here. I mean, whoever the beneficiaries were listed, you're not here to sort it out because you're gone. So we want to try and keep it as simple as possible. That's what we encourage most of the time.
But if you have like 3 kids and you're passing, 4 properties to the kids, aren't there discussions with, about the, you know, um, not every kid may want to keep the property. Others may want to keep it and have the cash flow. Maybe they have kids in, some have kids in college or coming up and they want to sell property. So those are discussions. You got to get into those discussions, right? About who the beneficiaries are, what their intentions are with property, because otherwise families can break up over arguments about this stuff, right?
Yes, absolutely, and we've seen that, and we don't want that to happen. A recent example right now is a single mom who has a wonderful real estate portfolio. She has 2 children. One of her children has no desire to manage real estate, to be involved in real estate. She loves both of her kids. And her other child is very helpful in the real estate business. What she is doing is establishing a life insurance policy for, let's say, daughter, and a provision in her estate plan for her son to receive the real estate, her daughter to receive the life insurance. Things are kept very equal, and
Interesting.
they're keep simple.
Interesting. So that's a great concept. The use of life insurance to really take care of all the kids if the assets aren't going to
Balance
be
the
divided equally.
scales.
Balance the
Yeah,
scales.
balance the scales.
Craig, and what
Now,
is the process? Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead.
just going to say that right there, though, there is a third rail to that. There is a pitfall in that to planning, that it is important to have a specialized type of estate planning done to hold, for example, life insurance assets as opposed to real estate assets. So it really isn't just as simple as we would suggest. That it should not be just as simple as jumping out and getting life insurance, for example. It is important to have it connected properly to the estate plan. Sorry, I just wanted to make sure that was clear.
Right. Okay. And then one of the last things I want to ask you about here is when you're doing the estate plan, what does that process look like? Someone comes to you, they say, okay, I don't have a will or a trust. And by the way, I know you always tell people if you just have a will, it doesn't avoid probate, which is a court process. You need to have a living trust to avoid probate and keep the courts out of your life. But if someone comes to you and they don't have anything or they have an
Right.
outdated will and trust, what is the process? Series of meetings, putting together a draft, and deep conversations, important decisions, right?
Yes, definitely. The first step is a conversation about whether you need one versus wanting one. to talk about the reason why you might want to have one. And then from there, if you have decided ultimately, yes, we definitely keep, for example, the government out of our business, we want to get an estate plan. Well, then we're going to have a detailed conversation. We call it a drafting call, where we'll spend 60 minutes or more going through all the different aspects of an estate plan. A comprehensive estate plan has many different pieces, and we'll spend an hour or more going over that to get it dialed in. And then we create a draft copy of your estate plan so that you're able to review it and make sure that you're comfortable with the provisions that you've laid out in your personal plan. And once we've got the official go ahead with that draft copy, then we actually print the final documents for signature and we start working on getting everything, here's the keyword, funded properly, making sure that the new estate plan is buttoned up properly. That's one that's often missed.
Right. Yeah. No, I hear that all the time. And then unintended consequences do occur. Last thing I'll mention, because this is a discussion somebody had with the firm this morning, is that if you're in a second marriage, which happens a lot, where two people come into a second marriage and they bring significant assets into the second marriage, a lot of times they neglect to update their estate planning. And so life happens, and there's stepkids involved and maybe even some new kids with the new couple. Got to get the estate plan done, because otherwise there can be a lot of financial and emotional pain. You need to have it coordinated. We see that a lot.
Absolutely. Yeah. Oh, definitely. Like I said early in this conversation, that idea of having the ex-spouse still listed as the beneficiary on retirement account or life insurance, it's all part of getting it updated. But a nuance that most people miss in this, Paul, I want to make sure to share this, that I recently met with a couple that had an existing estate plan. Everything was in place. And one of the questions that we ask, and I say myself, the legal team at our firm, we'll always ask, how are the kids? Are they doing well? Are they, do they have any issues that, we should talk about? And in this case, their son had developed, sadly, a drug dependency problem. And the good news is he was in getting help and he was on the right path. What we uncovered, though, all of the previous estate plan work and beneficiary designations had been set to just simply give all of his inheritance directly to him if something were to happen to mom and dad. So here, under the current circumstances, he would then receive a large amount of money from life insurance and the estate, as he was in a difficult place in life that perhaps he really shouldn't receive that kind of money. So we've started the process to correct and update things.
That's a good point. The special needs child and constructing your estate plan with your special needs kid in mind. Very important point. Kraig, this is a great reminder on important aspects of estate planning. First of all, got to have it, get it done. We all have an estate at some level that needs to be organized. And if you don't get it done, the courts will be happy to step in and handle personal stuff for you. Avoid that, get it done. And if you are going to get it done, make sure it's done right, in that it's current. And the beneficiary designations are an important part. So Kraig, as always, thanks for being here. We'll get you on video next time. I don't know, maybe it's not so bad you're not on video,
Right, exactly.
Yeah. Thank you, everybody. Hey, stay tuned. Every Thursday, 9 a.m. California time, we're coming back with more valuable information. And I'll say, lastly, if you look at that message on the screen, if you have any questions about your own planning and you want to get connected to our complimentary planning assessment, I don't care what's going on, small issue, big issue, everything in between, text guard assets to that number. You'll get on the calendar with Kraig, with our team, complimentary input. We want to help to get you organized, updated, and protected. Appreciate it. We'll see you here next time.